topic for discussion is effective implementation of new age media strategy to safeguard consumers' interest and enhance companies' reputation.
We see a rise in demand for greater convenience while ensuring food safety and the need for companies to innovate and deliver an array of products to choose from. How difficult is it to balance the two, increasing brands with food safety?
Thanks, Diva. I'd like to address your question in two parts. Firstly, to address the point of are we seeing an increased demand for food safety, food product offerings, greater convenience? I think the answer is a resounding yes. Currently, today in India, we have 164 million internet users, and 7 out of 8 people access the internet via a smartphone. I mean, this just gives an idea of how many people have access to how much information. And that information is not just contained in India, but they have information access to product offerings overseas. They can see the kind of quality that they're getting overseas. They have access to conversations, online conversations about food quality and safety.
True.
Then the next point, I think, is the fact that we are also witnessing an increase in affluence, greater middle class, also demanding greater product quality. Tens of thousands of Indians travel overseas every year and have access to information, seeing what kind of products are on the shelves. And then the topic of convenience. I think a lot of us now are buying our products online, and that also counts for groceries and food. So to give you an idea, in the US, 16% of consumers buy their groceries online, and 80% of all global online visitors, they do their research for grocery products online as well. And if you're coming back down to India, we did some research recently, and 40% of the consumers that we researched claimed that they bought food products online. However, 80% of those felt that they had more concerns with regard to product safety when they were doing online purchases. So this, from, let's say, pulling it all together from a marketing standpoint, there are a couple of things I think brands can learn. Number one, listen to the online conversations. There are ways to monitor social media conversations. There are tools and platforms available. But don't forget the silent masses. I mentioned 164 million. However, there are 1 billion population in India. So if you're doing market research on new product offerings, you've got to consider the fact that these are early adopters. And we also got to consider, when you're doing market research, also the offline community as well. And secondly, I think it's important to put together a robust social media marketing program that also handles complaints and has a contingency program in place for complaints.
Sure.
So that addresses part of your question. If I could just move on to the other part. You're talking about balancing food safety and increasing brands. I think these are not mutually exclusive. On the contrary, I think brands can really see that food safety could become an opportunity for them to really position themselves in a highly competitive market with a very clear brand USP or unique selling point. So we conducted some research recently, and it's very interesting, the results. So in fact, the majority of consumers put product safety ahead of brand in their purchasing decision. So just to give you a rundown, I thought it was quite interesting. The first purchasing was price, the second point was freshness, and then came safety, and after that brand, just to give you an idea in terms of where brand and safety positions themselves.
How do you believe there can be a profit in better for you products with healthier food lines in the food industry, given that the bottom line is business after all? And would you agree that there can be a conflict of interest here?
Yes, thanks, Diva. I think judging from the fact that there's an increasing amount of organic products, organic food shops, well-being products, bio products, I think there definitely is a market for it. I think we're also, as TÜV, we're witnessing an increase in demand for certification for food labeling. As we mentioned earlier, the consumer is becoming more aware, more informed, and wants to know what's in the products that he or she is eating. And judging from the research that we've been doing into safety premium, so that as Ishan mentioned earlier, people are willing to pay a premium of 20% for a product that is safe. A couple of years ago, we did something similar with green products. Again, people are willing to pay 20% approximately extra for a sustainable product. So I do envisage that people will be willing to pay a premium for a healthy, well-being, good product. And I think it's I think companies are ill-placed to go for low quality and high profitability, because sooner or later, if something does happen, it could really spiral into quite a nasty situation. But ultimately, I think the consumer is becoming king. The consumer will decide what he or she wants to have and at what price point they're willing to pay for it.